Welcome to the Healing Heart Podcast, where all healing is always a matter of the heart. I'm your host, Donna Campbell, also known as the Mind Whisperer, interviewing guest experts on all matters of healing. Welcome, everybody. And once again, I'm Donna Campbell here with the Healing Heart Podcast. And I am so thrilled today to be sharing with all of you my next guest. Paul Kearney is a business mentor, keynote speaker, holistic wellness practitioner, and I love this, being from Montana, an avid horse lover. So, boasting an impressive array of expertise in both corporate strategy and holistic living, Paul is renowned for his ability to bring a unique perspective on life and business. He is the managing director of Access Consciousness International, responsible for operations across Europe, Russia, the Middle East, and Africa. But in addition to that, he is also a qualified yoga, Tai Chi, and meditation teacher. Now, he didn't start there. He actually was pursuing a successful career in international sales and project management. And then he was diagnosed with profound depression. So that experience compelled him to undertake a 15-year exploration into holistic living and personal wellness. Now he's training and working with some of the world's most foremost minds on personal development and well-being. Travel is still a large part of Paul's life, and experiences a sense of adventure and fun as he travels the world creating conscious change. So Paul draws upon his vast knowledge to provide a uniquely holistic approach to coaching and speaking, and is known for his compassion, clarity of vision, and ease of communication. So he actually engages with a wide range of individuals, from C-suite executives to startup entrepreneurs and community leaders. So he encourages all of his clients to, and I love this phrase, see beyond the business and to look to the person inside each enterprise. You know, there's some wisdom there. He is dedicated to positive change and maintains the key to successful business and sales in What Creates More, with an understanding that business has the power to change the world when conducted from a place of kindness and conscious awareness. So everyone, let's just welcome Paul Kearney here to the Healing Heart Podcast. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you. Great to be here. Yeah, that was quite an introduction. So thank you for reading the whole thing. Yeah, how does it get any better?
Right, absolutely. So you were in the corporate world working, but then you ended up going through depression, which seems like a turning point or a changing point into the holistic health and living. So share with us that transition point for you that allows you to take your expertise from before to apply it to the world of healing today.
Yeah, so it was, I get it. Everybody is so unique and so special, and it's finding the things that really tick for you, the things that make your life exciting, that make things magical, that make things exciting to be alive. And for me, one of those things was access consciousness. So I had done 15 years with a large multinational and done a lot of international project management, a lot of account management, a lot of international sales, and enjoyed it. But it wasn't really my sole yearning. And it was like I was asking for more, looking for more. And Access Consciousness came along, and it was such a unique set of tools, techniques, everything. It had opened up such a new space for me. And it was really an exploration into being. And it was a true exploration of being more in the world and continually being more and being more of you. And as Dr. Dane here, one of the co-creators of Access Consciousness, says, when you're being you, you change the world. And it's like, it's being that and exploring that, and it's a constant exploration. It's always changing, always different things come up. And it's like, it's willing to have that sense of curiosity and look at, okay, what else is truly possible here? What can we change? What can we do different? And it's like, whether we're doing business projects or life projects or anything else, we're always looking at, okay, what else is possible? What's the next thing? What else can we do here?
I love that. What else is possible? Because in today's world, all things are always possible and at the same time. You don't have to wait anymore. But for our listeners who may not know what access consciousness is or is brand new to it, what and how would you describe access consciousness to someone?
Wow, great question. It's weird, it's wacky, it's different. It's a set of tools and techniques that are used to empower people to know that they know. Because so often you're told by whether it's educational organizations or religious organizations or whoever it may be that you don't know. But our deep, intrinsic, true knowing knows. And we know what works for us. We know what empowers us. We know what makes us greater. And when we actually acknowledge that and trust our own knowing and start to know that we truly know, everything starts to open up. So Access Consciousness was founded by Gary Douglas around 30 years ago and co-created with Dr. Dane here. And they traveled all around the world facilitating consciousness. And we went from being in 7 countries 10 years ago to being in 177. So the growth has been extraordinary and it's been a grand and glorious adventure.
Wow. Now, you're also responsible for all of the operations across Europe and Russia, Middle East, Africa, a large territory there. When you are sharing about access consciousness, what are some of the greatest results that you have seen in sharing with the different people, the practitioners? I'm assuming everyone's still learning and growing and new people are coming in. So what do you see as some of the greatest results with people utilizing access consciousness?
Wow, yeah, so many. I've seen a lot of incredible, I think the one constant is change. So it's like people, when they embrace the tools of access consciousness, and the same as anything, if you use it, it changes, and it's like utilizing the tools in every situation. Definitely from health aspects, I've seen huge changes. Like we have quite a lot of counselors, doctors, nurses who attend our conferences, and I've seen a lot of body changes because so often we don't treat our body with regard, and like we're very harsh on our body, and it's like we're pushing our body rather than actually relaxing and receiving and allowing our body to be the gift that it is, because our body is always gifting us awareness. And a lot of the time people kind of look on the body as almost something that you need to get rid of or something that you need to change, or it's like, oh, my belly's too big or my bum's too big or whatever it may be. And I think if we were kinder to our bodies, and we would see so many more miracles. But yeah, definitely one of the big shifts I've seen is, and I've seen a lot of miracles with bodies where people have healed incredible things or they've changed things, but it comes down to the person's willingness to change.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is the biggest resistance for people being willing to change?
Oh, you're hitting me with all the good ones here, Donna. I'm telling you.
Oh, no.
Yeah. She's a slinger. What's the biggest resistance? Great question. I think the rightness of our point of view. It's like one of the things we talk about in access consciousness quite a lot is that everything is just an interesting point of view. So if you're willing to have an interesting point of view and just be point of view about everything. So rather than having to be right or wrong or good or bad, because once we make it right or wrong, good or bad, we put it into a box and then you're stuck in that box and you can't get out of it. And it's like when you're actually willing to be interesting point of view and see everything as just an interesting point of view, you become the rock in the stream and the water can move around you, and it opens up such a different space, and it's allowing yourself to have the freedom of interesting point of view. So I think the biggest resistance for me is probably people sticking to the rightness of their point of view, not being willing to change their viewpoint or not being willing to look at things differently and saying, okay, this is the way I'm going, this is who I believe I am. And what if you're an infinite being and infinite possibilities are available to you?
Absolutely. And I'm going to agree with you on every point there, because I believe that all healing is a matter of the heart. But in order for that healing to take place, you have to have that openness to be able to receive. And you're right. If you clarify black or white, you put yourself in that box, and it doesn't really open you up to those possibilities. And all healing is just a change in perspective to grow, to be empowered, to become better, kinder, more balanced, more focused, more clarity, whatever it is that you're asking for there. So I'm going to agree with you there. And the biggest resistance is getting out of that mindset to shift and change that. So for access consciousness, because it had such a profound effect for you on your life, what is a great tip or one way to overcome that resistance that access consciousness provides to really open up that space there for healing?
Everything comes from a question, and it's like being willing to, so the 4 elements of creation, so question, choice, possibility, contribution. And I'll just unpack that a little bit. But by us asking a question, asking an open question of the universe, as an example, how does it get any better than this? That opens up a choice, and we have to make a choice and be willing to make a choice. And then a new possibility can show up. And then that allows you to receive the contribution of the universe, but also to be the contribution that you came here to be. Because by and large, we've come here to change the planet. And it's like, that's our role. That's what we've come here to do. And it's like, when we actually can do that, it's very enjoyable for us. And we're creating change, and always continually looking for more, continually looking for change is part of who we be. And it's like the power of the question, and it is really, really powerful, because it allows the universe to contribute to you. And one simple example is, how does it get any better than this? And it's like, by asking that, if it's really crap, and saying, okay, how does it get any better than this? It can get better. If it's really good, how does it get any better than that? It can get even better. And it's like allowing that sense of magic, that sense of joy, that sense of wonder to open up.
Right. And, it reminds me of a letter from Frere Giovanni. It was a Christmas letter, and it's like, don't be content with your joy, but there's a joy within the joy within the joy. How can the joy be even better? So would you say or share that it was from the 1500s? So in that, would you say that's part of access consciousness as well? What's greater than the joy you already have?
Yeah. Well, and it's all like, by the nature of it, like, we are the dissatisfied dreamers. Like, we're the poets, we're the artists, we're the creators of this world. We're the people who come out to do something different and change the world. And it's like, when we actually acknowledge that and step into that power and step into that potency, everything starts to change. And there's always more joy within joy within joy, more possibility within possibility within possibility. And when we follow the energy and follow it in a light, fun, joyful way, it opens up into light, fun, joyful, and it's allowing yourself to follow that. And one of the brilliant tools from Access Consciousness is to live in 10-second increments. So if you only had 10 seconds to live your life, what would you choose?
Wow. I'm going to ponder that. And we're going to take our break here just so we can hear from our sponsor, and we are going to ponder what we're going to do with our 10 seconds. So for those of you that are listening here to the Healing Heart podcast, we are talking with Paul Kearney about access consciousness and healing, and we will be back in just a few moments. Get what you always wanted. Abundant life is possible. Transform your lifestyle in just weeks with the most innovative system developed for heart-centered business professionals who seek change today. You are one step away from creating infinite prosperity, happiness, and love. Grab your bonus link now that's in the show notes. Okay, welcome back, everybody, here to the Healing Heart podcast. And my guest today is Paul Kearney, and we're talking about access consciousness and all things healing, creating the world a better place. And we were just sharing and talking about, if you only had 10 seconds to live, what would you do and create in those 10 seconds? So I'm going to ask Paul that same question, because this is what he shares and teaches. What would you do for your 10 seconds, Paul?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, I think it would be, if I could choose, I think I would choose joy. choose happiness, choose lightness. Yeah. And it's like, that's the magic of who we be. And that's who we naturally be. That's our birthright. And it's like, when we actually acknowledge that and choose that, more of that shows up. And it's actually allowing ourselves to receive that, be that in the world, be that gift, and be that lightness, be that fun. Because that's the magic that we are.
Mm-hmm. So share with me a little bit about the process or the journey. If we want to live in that type of vibration for those 10 seconds, the joy, the lightness of the being, creating everything a better place, what would you say or share with someone who may have experienced like a lot of abuse or trauma, and how do they transition to get to those 10 seconds of joy?
Yeah, well, everything is a choice, and it's like a lot of the time we choose things for a certain reason. It's like there's a certain awareness we're looking to get, and it's like the be it abuse, be it whatever it may be. It's like everybody on the planet has had things that have happened to them, and it's like when we actually acknowledge that and say, okay, that's there, but also some of the things that happened in the past are in the past, and it's like it's a willingness to let go of them. And rather than defining yourself as a victim, being willing to look at, okay, what can I choose now? And when we tap into the power, the potency, the brilliance that we truly be, everything starts to open, because it's a different level of being. And it's like we are joy.
Mm-hmm.
Walking, talking, that's who we be. And when we actually acknowledge that, and it's like this reality, this limited reality that we've created on planet Earth doesn't acknowledge that a lot of the time. But it's important for you to acknowledge when you're being happy, when you're being joyful, when you're being magical, and know the things that make you feel happy, joyful, whether that's walking in nature, whether it's swimming, whether it's dancing, whether it's having dinner with friends. It's like, what are the things that allow you to be more of you?
Mm-hmm. I love that. I truly love that, because that to me is straight truth as well. Now, in your bio, one of the things you write about and say is that you do encourage all your clients to see beyond the business and to look to the person inside each enterprise. Share with us the wisdom of actually doing that.
Yeah, so whether it's a corporation of 10,000 people, 20,000 people, or whether it's a one-man operation, it's like people are people. And it's like people want to be honored, they want to be loved, they want to be respected. And it's like it's being willing to see the person and what change they're looking to create in the world. Because a lot of the time, it's not just about the business, it's what they're looking to create. And it's like what they want to create in the world, what change they want to create. And the business is a vehicle that allows them to bring that out into the world. And that could be dog grooming, it could be playing tennis, it could be selling computers. It's like all depends on what people's individual passions are and what really excites them. But it's like when we actually see the person, then it becomes different, because rather than looking at a bottom line and trying to get this figure or that figure, you're looking at, wow, how can I contribute to this person? What different reality can we create?
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. Now, you also have a unique holistic approach to coaching and speaking, but you also work a lot with C-suite executives, startup entrepreneurs, community leaders. So how do you combine all of what you've learned with access consciousness, the holistic, the Tai Chi, the meditation, all the things you're doing into your business and then sharing with corporate executives?
Yeah, it's back to the previous point a little bit, that it's like people are people, and it's like everybody has their own personal requirements, and it's allowing yourself to see the person and see what the person requires. And it's like what's actually happening for them, because so often we're judging ourselves, and some of our harshest critics are ourselves. We judge ourselves hardest. And it's like if we can actually allow ourselves to relax and receive the beauty that we are, the joy that we are, the magic that we are, everything starts to change, because you're looking at it from a different viewpoint.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. I think that's the key to a lot of things. And it's been a theme throughout with what we've been talking about, because regardless of what's happened to you in your life, no matter if there was abuse or trauma, or maybe it's just everyday mundane task, or maybe you are starting to see yourself as that magical light to live in joy, no matter what process you go through, what experiences you're creating, you get to create your own experiences, there's always a silver lining gift. And there's always something more. There's always something better. You just have to look. So I think you're right in alignment there. What are some of your silver lining gifts that you have received for sharing this process with people?
I think it's probably like a group of amazing people all around the world. Like it's recently I had to bring my mum to Holland for some treatment, and I was there for a week. And there was so many people who showed up, like so many amazing people. And it was incredible. I was like, wow, how many friends have we made all around the world from this work? And it's like when you start to acknowledge that and see the contribution, and they acknowledge the contribution as well. I'm sorry, the noise in the background. It all starts to open up in the most beautiful way. And it's like, it's a weaving of people, it's a weaving of possibilities, it's a weaving of everything, because your life is not finished. And it's like, so often we think, oh, I'll reach this point and my life will be perfect. And it's like, no, it's always continuing on. And it's like I believe that for the infinite being, like even after we die, so this body, this physical body dies, but like the infinite being continues to go. And that is consciousness. And it's like when we start to acknowledge that and acknowledge that every molecule has consciousness, we start to recognize how important we are in the world.
So really, when you think about it, even just the name Access Consciousness, you are accessing your own consciousness to see your own light, to see the miracles, to get the silver lining gifts, to really make an impact and be that change in the world.
Yeah, totally. You got it in one, Donna. You got it in one. You are sharp. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it there. A couple quick last moment questions here with Access Consciousness, because you have like Europe and Africa and the Middle East and all of that. What are some of the goals? Because you guys have grown exponentially over the last however many years. Amazing. What are some of the goals and things you guys are accomplishing now, moving forward to create all of this moving and going forward?
Yeah, well, we've some amazing projects. One of them is a castle in northern Italy. So Gary and Dane purchased a castle with a number of their friends, and they restored it to an extremely high standard. So it's Castello di Castelbergone. It's 40 minutes outside Turin, and it's a totally different experience. It's actually allowing people to experience a different level of luxury, a different level of opulence, a different level of living. And like all the sheets are like 1,050 ply. It's like silver forks and knives. It's like crystal glasses. Everything is just immaculate, and it's like an incredible experience. And it's allowing that sense of peace to come into your world. Wow.
And I love it because it's also about abundance as well, because when you see that gold, silver, and crystal, it's really about allowing the abundance into your life as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And there's another project then that we're working on in Costa Rica, which is called El Lugar, which translates as the place. And it's a beautiful, beautiful project. It's a nature reserve. So there's 1,200 acres. So we've turned a large proportion of it into a nature reserve that can never be developed. And it's like legally protected. And then we've developed an ecological resort in one corner. So we're going to use that for holding conferences there, but just the energy and the vibration of it is so miraculous. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place. So literally the ecological resort is in the middle of a rainforest. So you're there and you hear all the birds, the frogs, everything that's going on. It's incredible. Yeah.
I love that. It's amazing. It's amazing. So you truly do have a pure joy and zest for life. And that's amazing, especially in the healing world, because just that vibration alone within you can shift and change the people around you just by walking by them in a store. And so I admire that and enjoy knowing that we're all making an impact that way. How can people get in touch with you about Access Consciousness, the things that you're doing, the projects that you guys are working on, if they want to know more?
Yeah, so for Access Consciousness, it's www.accessconsciousness.com. So very easy. For El Lugar, it's www.el and then hyphen lugar.com. So ellugar.com. And for me, it's IamPaulKearney.com. So yeah, you can find me there. We've lots of classes. I'm always traveling around the world, different adventures. So, yeah, please check it out.
All right, you guys heard it. Definitely connect with the different projects, connect with Paul Kearney, learn, grow, become part of Access Consciousness. I know I'm in. And Paul, I want to say thank you so much for being my guest today here on the Healing Heart podcast.
Oh, my pleasure. Absolutely, my pleasure.
All right. And for everybody else, just go create that beautiful day.